Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into round number 4 of the Ride365.com Nationals, powered by Versus PC in MX Simulator. We're at High Point tonight, and my name is Kellen Brauer, and I'm joined by the lovely and the one and only Christopher Riesenberg. What's up tonight, Chris?
Wow, it's crazy to be back. It feels like we were gone for a month, and it was only a week.
No freaking kidding, but we're back, and we're going to have some sick action tonight from High Point, and I'm more pumped about the fact that I'm not feeling like crap compared to last week. But I'm also really pumped for this race tonight, and right now going down on the track, we have the 250 consolation race out there for these guys. And I'm having a little FPS issues, but I'm going to try to continue to work on that.
Oh man, Craig Leak just went down out of a transfer spot in this Conti race. He's dropped all the way to the 9 spot. Remember last week he finally regained, or 2 weeks ago in Colorado, he finally was back to the form that he had last year. I mean, he doesn't have that number 11 by mistake, and now he's back to maybe the subpar results that we saw at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, that's
looking to not even make the show. That's
a little strange out of Mr. Leak. So hopefully he figures it out. He's still right outside of this whole
huge group.
Yeah, so definitely not out of it yet, but being back there is a little bit more challenging as he sneaks by a couple downed riders. So we'll see his progress and whether or not he can still make it up into the 6th spot. He's got to get to Kodak Black, which looks like Ben Toy, yeah. And
I suppose I should pull up the stream.
Well, it might be a good idea. But before these guys get to another huge jump, just going to point out tonight that Kellen doing shots when people throw dualies is back tonight. So people throwing it big on the multiple large jumps at High Point and doing it with their friends side by side, that's going to warrant some shots by me. I got some Red Bull vodka on hand, and it's going to be crazy because these guys, I'm imagining, are going to throw down tonight and going to get me all liquored up. So remember, we see dualies on stream. Kellen takes some shots tonight. Let's just get the first one out of the way. I think
Kellen's going to be on the floor.
Woo!
The 450 class. We don't call him K2B for nothing. Kellen 2 beers.
Yeah. So then we get what, Kellen 3 shots maybe before it just gets too crazy.
What is crazy right now is this last transfer battle is insane. Craig Leak has moved himself up to 3rd, maybe 4th right now as he's side by side with Ben Toy and Reno Brennan right there in the mix.
What's amazing is
that is right there as well as Charles Gable.
This is a consolation race, and these guys look fantastic. Like, they're all riding pretty well, honestly. Maybe it's just my general lack of skill in the game these days since I've taken time off. But man, these guys are kind of hauling on this track.
Not quite as simple, I would say, as Thunder Valley, but still a fairly simple track, I would say. I don't know how much time you've had on it this week, Kellen, but probably one of the more well-received tracks we've ever had for RF. There wasn't a lot of complaining as our leader, Ryan Mahan, just went down.
Oh, I saw him in the background there. He's going to have to get going.
Terrible spot to get going on a 250 as well. He's going to have no speed up the hill. Probably going to be side by side by the time they get to the top with Craig Leak would be my guess, as Craig comes up in the 3rd spot. Ben Toy right now runs 4th, but Reno Brennan wants that last transfer. Top 4 are going. It's 4 laps. They're going to get the white flag when they come over the finish here. And while they're continuing to race, I suppose we should take a look at the qualifying times here at the brand new track, new layout, and built from the ground up. And 4th round of the year, 4th time Colton Mitchell sits on top of the board for qualifying. He's been having troubles getting it done in the race, but speed during qualifying is definitely not a problem for the number 10.
Yeah, I think that, just to hit on that real quick, I think that's the 13th consecutive time, including Supercross now, that Colton Mitchell's qualified fastest in the 250 class. That's kind of crazy.
That's ridiculous, as Craig Leak crashed himself out of a transfer spot. So we're watching this racing action for the last transfer go on. Jeremy Seabolt's dropped back into the 250 class for this week. He's been up there in the 450 class. We'll see what the switch does for him. I had a little chat with him last night, and he actually said he wasn't having a lot of fun playing. Maybe that's the reason for the switch to the 250 class. As Charles Gable goes to the ground, it's going to crash him out of a transfer with the laps to go. Maybe the 250 will kind of revitalize Seabolt a little bit. Looks like it has in qualifying. And then Bryce Whelan, no surprise there, sitting up in the 3rd spot. Jared Seidhoff, 4th fastest qualifier. 2nd through 4th, all in the 156 lap times, but almost a second faster than anyone was Colton Mitchell.
Wow.
And then Gebhardt continuing to be strong this outdoor season was 5th fastest qualifier. Russ Chapman, Kyle Robb back on the 250 this week. Brock Pearson, Edward Mora, and Sean Klein were your top 10 qualifiers.
Right on. That's pretty crazy. Mitchell 2nd faster than anybody on this track. His lap time is a little bit shorter than a normal national lap time that you'd expect. So there's not as much time. There's still a lot of time, but not as much time on a 2-minute and 30-second track, for example, to gain on fellow competitors.
Mahan was leading with the white flag out. He's now in 5th on the outside looking in, and this is going to come down to the last couple corners to see who gets that 4th and final transfer spot. Being held right now by Craig Leak, putting heavy pressure on Ben Toy, and right behind Ryan Mahan and Hayden Stevenson are trying to make something happen. Down in the last off-camber turn, Leak's going to go to the middle.
Stevenson sent it. Mahan's down.
Here comes Stevenson with the drive up the hill. He's going to Hail Mary it into this last turn up the inside. Here he comes on Craig Leak.
He's got a line. He tried to throw it in.
Clean. He's going to recover cuts, it looks like.
All right. So Leak makes it through. Mahan does not. And we almost had a last-minute pass there by Hayden Stevenson. As you mentioned, we're going to have to wait down to cuts. Yeah.
Dakota French, Reno Brennan, Ben Toy, and Craig Leak unofficially are in until cuts are in. I was fully expecting him to land pinned off that triple into the last turn and just drive her in there wide open.
Indeed. That's usually what we see out of these consolation races. They're exactly like LCQs and Supercross. These guys do not hold back. They just go for it. But that's the best thing about racing in these classes.
I tell you what, though, with only a 0.4 gap back to Hayden Stevenson and knowing that Leak had some issues, there's a good chance that he had an off-track excursion and missed a timing gate at some point.
That's true.
Which very easily could put him into the show.
All right, looks like we probably are waiting on someone to get kicked because I don't see anybody still right. Well, Tyler Schmidt is floundering around, so...
Tyler Schmidt literally just got the track right before the race, so we'll let him go down the last downhill and come back up.
Yeah, this is your 2016 250 East Supercross champion. Always struggles outdoors, and like you said, no time on the track doesn't help.
Yeah, he said he hasn't been able to play much. Hopefully he'll at least throw a big whip or something for us.
Let's see, he's about to go up the big uphill triple, although he is going to the inside.
You can do it from the inside on a 250 if you're a beast, and Tyler Schmidt definitely can get that done.
Let's see it. Nope, goes for the double.
He did throw it sideways. I mean, he's wearing a lot of pink. Maybe he kind of girled out. And cuts are in, and Craig Leak is still going to the show.
Yeah, Stevenson actually had a 10th of cuts there, but didn't matter either way because he would have lost out. So, that is the consolation race. Craig Leak, Ben Toy, Reno Brennan, and Dakota French going to the show. Which, by the way, show is coming right up here in just a minute. We're going to have 250 Moto 1 lining up, and we're going to take you through the running order for those guys and who you can see and pick out your favorite rider tonight. And, of course, we will have Chris's favorite segment, the Versus PC one to watch. We'll see who he picks this week.
I forgot about that. I think it's going to be pretty easy to pick this week.
All right. Well, we'll see who that is. On the other side of this is... Gate drop coming up here in just a second as Dakota French does a little enduro manning. Oh, I just saw dualies. Craig Leak and Reno Brennan. Wasn't the biggest, but still worth a shot.
Shots. Oh, we need a sound drop. We need a soundboard. Somebody donate a lot of money to Kellen so he can get a soundboard.
Yes, please. I don't have a lot of money to spend on one right now.
We could have a lot of fun with that, though, for sure. Every time a pass was made, though, we'd be having it go, "What's up, my dudes?"
Oh, my gosh. We would have a lot of fun, that's for sure. I would love to put together a nice compilation of sound drops to use on these streams. It'd be awesome. But, yeah. Right on.
We could just have people pull, like, my best ever freaking, whatever you call it.
One-liners,
stupid things I say. Yeah, there you go. I'm off my game tonight. Hopefully I liven up a little bit as this stream gets going on, peoples. As we are on the gate, and interestingly enough, undefeated thus far in the amateurs, moving to the pros tonight is Isaiah Dickerson. I saw his name in qualifying, so we're going to grab him as our versus PC one to watch, see what he does. Moving to the pro class, a lot of guys said, man, he's too good to be an AM. Didn't lose a moto all year, and I believe he was top qualifier at every round as well, and moved himself up. So we'll see what he can do.
Well, you might not be
for the big leagues.
You might not be warmed up tonight yet, Chris, but I'm gonna get warmed up nice and quick tonight at the rate that these people are throwing it on this track. I love it though. More whips, the better.
Yeah, with that, and then during the 450s, I mean, I think we're gonna see a lot of whips on the triple as well as the quad. I mean, actually, on the big quad, for me to stay on the track, I throw an oppo whip every lap because it's the way I can be the most consistent.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing we're going to see a lot of whips. Maybe not so much on the 250s where they have to struggle to get over the jumps a little bit.
Right.
But they have the big drop-off into the valley to throw some scrubs on.
That's true. That's true. But, you know, to your point about doing oppo whips on that jump, it's kind of like just a slight hip jump. So doing that oppo whip really sets them up a little bit better for the next corner because they're pulling the bike back towards the corner as they land. So I felt that too when I rode the track a little bit. So for sure, I think we'll see a lot of oppo whips on the big quad here tonight. But that's awesome.
Wow.
Love oppos.
Another mix-up. I see Connor Holiak out there on a 125. He's been riding in the 450 class doing very well.
Well, let's flash back to last year for a moment while we're at it and talk about the fact that Connor Holiak did, in fact, win this race last year on a 125. So maybe going back to that old mojo a little bit, not too sure, but either way, this track lended hand well to the underpowered machine last year. Not really thinking that's the case this year, though. This is a pretty gnarly, large-scale track for these 250Fs.
I feel like there's a lot more uphill stuff than there was a year ago.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how that goes for
Holiak. Holiak's corner speed's pretty ridiculous, so you can keep the momentum up on that 125.
That's true. All right, well, versus PC, one to watch, BGFX's Isaiah Dickerson. So we'll see how he fares here tonight. First pro race.
I picked someone you don't have skins for because he was an AM before.
Well, that's might be true, but for some reason, every time that the BGFX guys post stuff, I never seem to get it. It happened all year long with Bryce Whelan too, so not too sure what the deal is with that. Either way, I am going to take a look at... Let's take a look at...
Dickerson's P4 close to the middle of the gate if you want.
I've got Cohenauer middle-ish of the gate down the inside. Let's see what happens. It's time to go 250 racing at High Point.
Gates down.
Look at that. Cohenauer's got a pretty good jump. He's going to try to close these guys off from the outside.
On the outside, and we got the Cohenauer with the hole shot. Across the stripe he goes. Jonathan Hughes in the mix, and I think I saw, no, that's Alex Carlo and Sean Klein. I thought I might have seen Colton Mitchell up front.
Sean Klein gets into Alex Carlo, yeah, so Klein, the rookie on the 74 behind Cohenauer, comes through. We got a stack of Hondas, surprise, surprise, running up front already as Cohenauer leads away from Klein, who already has bit between his teeth. He is trying to go after the lead early.
Sidehoff is back in 23rd. He's already working his way through a bunch of downed riders towards the front of the pack. Keep an eye on the number 1 with the red background as he's going to be coming through the pack. I see a bad start for Whelan and Mitchell, who are both good qualifiers. They're outside the top 30, and also saw Salty Walty Gebhardt back near the back of the pack.
Oh, man. Frustration for those guys. I saw Sean Klein lose it up front. He has dropped back a little bit behind these guys now as Cohenauer stretches out from Jonathan Hughes. Klein right in this mix as well, but Tyler Lewis on the 46 also near the front. So all these guys trying to settle in early. All the chaos that happens early in these races really shapes what happens going into the second half with who's up front and who is charging from the back.
Excited to see, is this the Sean Klein that everyone was seeing preseason? He's going to go by one guy, almost two, as he goes on by into the number 2 ride. He's got a drag race going on with Jonathan Hughes.
That was gnarly. He was completely laid over. Got that machine almost upside down coming down into the gully. Down the inside.
Over the table. Hughes doesn't jump over.
Someone
Tyler
sent
Lewis
it, though.
Does.
Yeah.
That was Tyler Lewis going to go around Hughes. But nice 2-for-1 move from Sean Klein going up into the 2 spot.
Right on. Early action going off here as these guys send it uphill triple. Leader of lap number 1 is Kohenauer on the 42. So holds shots and is stretching it out. Now Klein's going to go back to work to try to catch him. Lewis from Hughes now leak out of the LCQ. Gets himself into 5th. Warden is leading from Donovan. Rob's, Seabolt's up here. There's Foster, Moxie, Toy, Prokopville, Bull, Gebhardt, Zoacross, Devin Ryan, Russ Chapman. We're trying to find your championship leader, Pearson, Mitchell, and here he is, the number 1 of Sidehoff through the mechanics area now.
Interestingly enough, Sidehoff was with Siebold and Kyle Robb outside the top 20 in that first lap. Robb and Siebold are now inside the top 10, going after the 6th spot of Chase Donovan down the downhill. So they made quick work. Sidehoff must have got hung up there somewhere.
And this is a crazy battle going on with these guys, Robb and Donovan and Jake Warden. Siebold trying to get around Donovan as well. All these guys mixed together. Lines looking like they might come together as Siebold gets to the inside. Makes a pass on Sally Slow-mo.
Yeah, good job there by Siebold hugging that inside, because it does drift to the outside as they're going to go around the 134 of Jonathan Hughes, who was getting up from a crash. He's going to drop into the 7th spot.
Yeah, and in the background, Chase Donovan went over the bars on the uphill double and collected a few other riders with him. So they're going to end up probably outside of the top 20 with how close things still are here in the early running.
Wow, I went back through the pack and saw Silacross doing a dirty Oppo whip over the quad. We have a new leader out the front of the field. Sean Klein has disposed of Jeremy Kohenauer, who now drops into the 2 spot, and then fresh out of the consolation race, barely got into this thing. Craig Leak runs in 3rd.
Wow, so Klein already to the lead on Kohenauer. Must have been a small mistake for Kohenauer, because he's still right there, but Klein is definitely hauling the mail early on. Might be in a position now, the best position he's been in this year at least, to maybe pick up his first career moto win. So he's going to come down and lead lap number 2 from Kohenauer.
Wow, interesting to see Craig Leak. If I remember right, last year at High Points, where I really started to notice how good he was getting outdoors, and now he's up in 3rd out of that consolation. Barely got into this thing. I don't know if he was just nervous or what, changed setup or something. He's dialed in right now.
Yeah, well, maybe it was nerves. Like you said, consolation races can be a little bit nerve-wracking, especially when you know you have the speed, but sometimes those races can be so crazy you never know what's going to happen. But obviously, Leak looks like he has got himself toned down a little bit for this one. Runs
Gotta
in
watch
the 3
right
spot.
now is probably Kyle Robb on the Prime Design Graphics number 23. He was outside the top 20. He just slid into 4th. Already has a 2:03 lap time log going through the pack. He is on a mission to the front of this field. Back on the 250, he's been kind of bouncing between classes a little bit. I like that strategy. I mean, obviously not good to get a championship position, but it keeps it fun, moving from bike to bike, whichever one he prefers on the track that week.
Yeah, and at least in my opinion, I feel like it also keeps it a little bit going in the right direction in terms of setting up a bike correctly for these different tracks, because you understand where you can really push the envelope with the speed of 450s, but you also get the ability to corner a little bit better because the agility and the quick turning of a 250F in this game. So it seems like he's got his setup kind of entirely dialed here for all terrains.
Speaking of setup, he's about to try to set up a pass on Craig Leak right now. So he's going all the way around the outside. I don't think he's going to get the run to double in on a 250 there. He actually has pressure coming from Jeremy Siebold, who's been following him through the pack. Siebold also logged a 2:03 lap time through the pack. Those guys have been a battle throughout the whole race, even though they've passed 20 guys together.
Yeah, and they are going to come right onto the back of Leak really fast here. And they're also bringing Tyler Lewis with them still, even though they passed him. Oh my gosh, Siebold sends it down the hill, almost gathered it up, but ended up going off the track. Still gets on in front of Lewis.
Oh, Leak cut over hard on the face on Kyle Robb. Robb has to back off in double, but with Leak's casing it, Robb makes the pass going double single.
Yeah, and Robb definitely threw it down there to make the pass stick, too. I don't think he wanted much more of Leak doing that, as he now moves up into the 3 spot, and he's going to set sail after Kohenauer in the 2 spot now.
Solid ride going thus far for Kohenauer. He was 11th fastest qualifier, so definitely has some speed, and he's an OG guy, so we all know he should have a little bit of consistency built up.
Yeah, I think that's probably his strongest forte, is that consistency factor. He's definitely quick, like you mentioned, but man, oh man, do some of these guys kill it with consistency. They just turn the same lap over and over again. Even if it's a couple seconds off the pace, it's able to keep them near the front while the other guys that are flying by then end up crashing a little bit more often.
Update on Sidehoff, he's in 16th spot right now. So a lot of work to do as we are approaching the 7-minute. We just passed the 7-minute mark of this moto, actually.
All right. So things spreading out a little bit early on as Leak and Seabolt go side by side on the big triple. A little bit of opposite whippage action going on there. Not quite dualies though. As Seabolt makes the pass stick down through the valley.
People are going to have to lay the hammer down. He was right on the back wheel of Kyle Robb. Now he's got about a 3-second gap to make up.
These guys getting tailed by Jordan Foster a little bit. Foster has been blazing fast in the past in this game. I haven't seen much of him this year, but back out here at High Point trying to lay it down early on in the 6th spot.
Those asking in chat, Jeremy Smith's been riding 250 in Nationals because he's on the East Coast, gets done earlier. Sadly, we won't see him tonight at High Point as he's actually leaving to race the real National today. So he was actually one of my beta testers when we were building the track. So good luck this weekend to Jeremy Smith on the 309 machine as he'll be making his National debut for 2017
yeah, heck
at
yeah.
High Point.
And if I'm not mistaken, he will be racing the rest of the series from here on, right?
Skipping Washougal and probably skipping Millville, it sounds like, as of right now.
Right on. Well, everybody cheer on your favorite MX Sim guy, JS4 to us, but JS309 on the track. As he leaves our series and go races the real Nationals. And watching this crazy battle now as Foster slipped back into the clutches of Walter Gebhardt. Craig Leak has also crashed back here. And Gebhardt, we've seen it in these first 3 rounds, has really been flying and seems like he's got his starts somewhat dialed, although he did not get a good one in this first moto at High Point. Coming through the field though, looking strong so far.
Yeah, more impressive to me is the fact he didn't have the start tonight. Outside the top 30s, worked his way up into 6th early on, and we're not even a third of the way through this moto yet. Has a 2-minute lap time logged in already. He's hauling, got through without any problems, and I mean, he's looking like a real contender to be a top 3 guy in this championship.
Yeah, and still privateering it up. Not too sure whether or not teams just don't really want him for who knows what reason, but clearly has the speed to put some brand name up front.
Oh man, check out the battle for the number 2 spot. Kyle Robb just went for the double into the valley, got all the way to the top of it, and that's enough to carry the driver around.
Wow.
Jeremy Kohenauer into that number 2 spot.
Nice move too, and good thinking from Kohenauer to back out of that as Robb drifted wide coming through the sweeper. And it's amazing to me.
Flat.
These guys are just absolutely sending it down that hill. Just riding it into the corner every time, getting those bikes stopped. It is a true feat to do that, as that is a very tricky off-camber corner.
Make that a 1-minute 1:59 flat for Kyle Robb. He took another second off that last lap. He is flying right now. He's only 4.8 behind Sean Klein, and he's come from a long ways back.
Yeah, and he's not only taking, tenths here and there off, he's taking full chunks of seconds off of the lead from Klein. So Klein, not too often have we seen him in this position in the pro class yet where he's leading. And so far he's looking good, but now as he got someone chasing him down real quick here, we'll see how well he can hold on under pressure and whether or not Robb will get to him and force him into a mistake early here before we even hit the halfway point of this moto.
I'm trying to figure out where Robb's making up his time, but it looks like he's just carrying speed everywhere as he's already up on the back wheel and around the outside of Sean Klein. Is he just going to rail right around him?
I think he might, and yes, he does. Wow. Went on board with them because I thought Klein might put up a little bit better of a fight, but Robb already through and into the lead. So just like that, new race leader, and Robb gets absolutely dirty on the triple, throwing a huge oppo whip.
Wow. Kyle Robb is locked in right now. Looks like he's having a lot of fun.
Look at that line. He's doing he's not down. Somehow keeps it on 2 wheels and wisely corrects himself before getting going again. He's going to lose a spot to not only Kohenauer but Seabolt, as well as the 19 machine goes through into 3rd.
Watch Robb going down into this valley right here. He's running that outside and goes for the double into the valley. Seabolt does it right in front of him. They clip the top, but they're able to carry all their momentum. High risk, high reward.
Yeah.
Looks like they both have it. I mean, I've seen Kyle do it the last 3 laps in a row. He's pretty consistent with it, so.
I'm going on board with Rob here once more as he is now back into 4th, but him and Siebold, probably the fastest 2 riders on the track right now, are going to try to work their way past Kohenauer right in front of him and then back onto Sean Klein for the race lead. 4-rider battle for the lead coming up here real quick here at High Point.
Wow, Kyle, Rob, and Siebold both 3rd gear, grabbing 4th pin down that off camber as Rob goes around. Siebold now sets his sights back on Kohenauer once again.
I mean, just look at that corner speed. Like, Kohenauer is no slouch, and he made that corner very smoothly, but Rob still, just look at that, around the outside of him. Are you kidding me? Blows the rut and still seems to gain a little bit of time.
I think he's purposely jumping out of that rut where those bumps are and using it to set up a little better for the double-double section. I've seen him do it multiple laps now.
So he's back in the exact same position he was pretty much 1 lap ago, where he's about 4 seconds back of Klein. Last time Klein made a small mistake in this section and Rob was able to take the lead, so we'll see how quickly that gap to Klein evaporates.
This time Rob bringing Siebold back with him again. Siebold's been trailing him most of this moto. Picked up on a lot of his lines, and here we go over the big triple. No oppo whip this time from Kyle Rob.
He still does throw a little bit of a kick at the end though, just to get the bike kind of corrected the way he wants to. But you're right, Siebold is coming with him and maybe going a little bit faster now. Although Rob did pass him, these guys are both running very similar pace at the moment.
Yeah, last lap around Siebold was a 159.1. He's going to go to the inside here, so we'll see how these lines balance out. Siebold on Rob. Rob going to go for the double in.
Line, yeah. Well, it worked out pretty evenly because Siebold was able to scrub down that double very nicely. Maybe lost, if that, a 1/10 of a second.
Oh, Rob. Oh, my goodness, that scrub.
Throwing it.
Curious to see what the lap time is this time around for Sean Klein. Looks like he might have picked up the pace as these guys aren't closing back in nearly as quickly. 2:01 that time around for him. Kyle Rob's going to log a 2-minute and a 2:02 for Siebold.
All right, down past the mechanics area again. So Rob is still taking a little bit away from that lead gap, but like you said, Klein so far is responding nicely to the pressure, and they are now getting into lap traffic, as I believe I just saw Ben Toy on the DX3 machine in between these two guys, but he's wisely getting out of the way. So down through the corner rollers into the middle part of the track a little bit, then they break away back towards the outside. Rob is definitely reeling him in.
We just hit the halfway point of the moto, and I don't want to miss this battle for the lead, so I'm going to try to rip through a quick top 10 rundown brought to you by the fine folks at Tiger Designs. Helmet painting, modification like names and stuff, cool stuff like that. Or you can buy a helmet from him. Out front, we have Sean Klein on the Evergood 74. Kyle Rob and Jeremy Siebold ripping through in the 2 and 3 spot, running a wicked pace. Siebold going to go off track a little bit, saves it.
Good save.
Nice ride going for Jeremy Kohenauer on the MV Films machine. Then comes Jordan Moxie running the wrong number on the Architect number. Well, he's running 28, which is wrong. And he's also low lining that jump, which is also wrong. Jordan Foster comes around in the number 6 spot. Salty Walty's dropped into 7th, so his charge to the front has stalled out a little bit. Then we find DX3 rider Rush Chapman. Edward Mora in the number 9 ride, and rounding out the top 10, we finally find our points leader, Prime Design Graphics number 1, Jared Seidhoff. That has been your Tiger Designs top 10 rundown, and we didn't miss a pass for the lead. And I come back to Siebold just getting absolutely filthy on that triple down. I don't know if you got up there in time for that.
I think I caught the very tail end of it as I was going forward. This battle for the lead is about to just be on, as they're still working through lap traffic a little bit. 16 minutes in, so we got about 13 and a half minutes plus 2 laps to go coming up here. And Kyle Rob has Sean Klein in his sights. It is on, number 74, leading the race from number 23, but it might not be that way for very long.
Don't really have to even talk much when they're racing like this. They got a couple lappers to deal with. One of them jumps in the middle of them onto the track. Rob's going to go inside and
Takes
goes right
the
on
lead.
by.
Wow, and I'm not sure if Klein messed up the outside or what. He's going to try to fight back down the inside. Has a good run. Rob cuts over and hangs onto the spot. How about Klein back onto the inside? He gets the pass back. Into the lead he goes again. Rob is going to have to regroup. He made a small mistake and almost went off the track, but did not lose too much time. Great action so far. Oh, Rob loses the front wheel. Somehow does not smash his face into the ground and stays on the machine.
So once again, Sean Klein weathers the storm when Kyle Robb catches up, and now Kyle Robb's got to go right back to work. This time Seabolt's finally in front of him, so we'll see if Seabolt can maybe chip away and get up to the front. And Klein hanging tough with the lead.
Yeah, it definitely seems as though Seabolt, while Rob and Klein were going at it for the lead, has chipped away at that lead a little bit more and might have a much better opportunity to take the lead this time. So you can see Sean Klein right in front of him going up the hill here.
I can't believe that Kyle Robb's getting that close to jumping into that valley on a 250, because I can't do it on a 450.
Well, now that he's doing that on a 250, I'm very interested to see these seat-bounced gods like Tyson Fresquez and Jesse Mullins and James Armstrong and stuff that can probably, if not clip the very top of it and not get affected too much, maybe even get all the way over it.
They should be able to get all the way over it. I know Race was able to when he was baiting for me. Seabolt's down.
And he is...
Wow, Rob's all the way back to fourth now. He had a mistake, so here comes Cohenauer in third.
And Seabolt's going to get up.
Seabolt.
Yeah, still in second. Well, that's crazy. So Rob lost a big chunk of time. Must have had a fall-off crash. And Seabolt remounts still in second. So now Klein, you mentioned weathering the storm. He may have really weathered the hurricane here, because everybody was right up there with him, ready to do some battle. He did a little bit of battling, but now has a nice, comfortable lead to work with here, coming up on the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, I have to think that, Klein ran a lot of amateur races, won a lot of them last year. That experience probably paying off now. He's used to running at the front of the pack. Yes, it was a while ago, but you don't get that experience any other way other than doing it, and you're not going to just jump into the pros and do it. So that amateur time definitely worked out for him.
Yeah, and we're seeing, I feel like, at least recently, more and more graduates of the amateur national program coming up and doing big things in this series. You saw it with guys like Hunter Root winning an amateur national championship and coming up to start winning races and championships, but you just don't really see too many amateur guys come up and start winning right away. But Klein is making a statement in his rookie year here, running very strong.
Speaking of graduates, let's check in with our VersusPC.com one to watch. He just moved into the 22 spot. He was all the way back in 38th place on lap number 1. So BGFX rider Isaiah Dickerson has moved up into 22nd around Jack Zars, who was actually another one of those graduates. So a couple of rookies doing battle here. Zars a couple more races in, of course, to his outdoor campaign in the pro class. But Dickerson running in the 22 spot, looking to score some points here, as he gets actually passed back by Zars. Nice little battle going on here.
Yep.
Split lines.
Zars, another graduate of the amateur national ranks, as you mentioned.
Whoa, Dickerson, I don't know if he was trying to not get contact there or had a controller issue. It looks like he's not able to get out of second gear for some reason. He kept dropping into first and then second. Now he's back going.
I'm having a little bit of lag issues on my side. Not sure if that's affecting the riders out there. Oh my God, did you just see Zars and Dickerson just get dirty? Oh man.
Sure. Those guys continuing to try to knock on the door of scoring points, while at the front of the field, Sean Klein leads 7.5 seconds. So Seabolt's all by himself in second. Rob has found his way back into the 3 spot. Jordan Moxie has moved up to the 4th spot, and Cohenauer drops into 5th.
Looking for a little bit of a battle. We've got Jordan Foster coming under attack from Jared Seidhoff, yeah, for that 7th spot.
Seidhoff working his way through the pack, salvaging points. Already out to a pretty good points lead early in this series. Unfortunately, we don't have exact points after some issues with timing and scoring at Thunder Valley, but we'll get those up here shortly. Going around, some lap riders pulling over, letting them go by that away, whoever that was.
Side off trying an inside move is going to end up close here. It looks like Foster's still kind of low-lining that quad just a little bit. He didn't gain a ton of time, but he definitely stayed lower from that vantage point. Of course, that low line was kind of a big problem, I want to say 2 years ago at this race. Everybody hugging the far right side of the track on that jump. And unfortunately, it made it really one-lined on probably one of the best jumps on the track. Looks like that issue's mostly sorted out this year, so that's good to see.
And these guys were warned ahead of time that that is outside the yellow markers, and that is not legal on the track. Did they get protested, it would be considered a track cut.
All right. Well, there you have it. Laying it down. Any 450 riders out there listening, I see Alex Heckman in chat, one of them. Oh, as Foster lays it down and side hop goes through, Chapman tries to get down the inside and puts Foster on the deck. So just like that, fortunes turned very quickly for the 41 ride.
Lead is shrinking once again at the front. It's down to 5.5 seconds as Seabolt logged a 159 flat, his fastest lap of the race. And coming along with him in third, a 158.8 for Kyle Robb, who runs his fastest lap. So those guys are still picking up speed.
Oh boy, I like the sounds of that. That has them making for a great finish to this race, as we are now working up to 23.5 minutes into this. So just about
Rob's down.
6 minutes plus 2 laps to go. And even though Robb goes down, Seabolt is slowly catching Klein to the point where he might get to him before the end of this race, as long as they both stay on 2 wheels. Of course, that's somewhat unlikely to happen. Usually these guys have a tip over here or there as it gets down to the end and the pressure's up a little bit more. Like there, Seabolt, little tip over. Keeps going though. Whoa, Seabolt launches into the valley. I think I'm more impressed with these guys that they've somehow figured out suspension settings that they can pretty much land to flat and be fine, as Robb goes over the bars again in third, so he's going to get passed by Moxie. Moxie through, Cohenauer through. Robb is going to get up behind Gebhardt just barely there. Update on Connor Holiak, the 125 rider tonight. Not going as according to plan this year.
We have a new leader. Crash from Sean Klein, 214 last time around. And guess what? Back in the 250 class and back at the front of the field is Jeremy Seabolt.
So just like that, the entire complexion of the race changes. Seabolt out front and likely going to start cruising it in here. You talked about Klein's experience winning in the amateurs and getting that knowledge of what it's like to win a race and using it to your advantage. Well, Seabolt, he's won just a few of these pro races before. I'm sure he knows how to win them as well. And I think he's going to settle into a comfortable pace here that is still a tick faster than what Klein was able to put down. Probably stretch this thing out, but anything could still happen. About 4.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Either way, good ride from Klein. This is going to be a good morale boost for him to have led for so long. I'm sure he'll be frustrated. But no experience like leading a pro national. Sure learn a lot real quick about speed and tempo and what it's like to be under pressure from some of these guys. So a lot of positives for him to take out of this one. Looking back to the battle for third, and Salty Walty just being steady Walty tonight as he works his way into fourth and is now going after Cohenauer for the lead, or the lead for third. So we're watching this battle unfold. Gebhardt seems to be the aggressor here again. We talked earlier about it in the race that Cohenauer likes to use consistency to his advantage, and it's working quite well as he's still running in a podium spot here. But you'd have to believe Gebhardt is the faster of the two riders in this particular battle, given how far back Gebhardt came from to get to Kohenauer.
Yeah, I mean, speed definitely not the only thing that matters. Is Kyle Robb was running heaters hotter than Arizona summer, and he's all the way back in the 9th spot now.
So consistency is key to some degree. Obviously, these real fast guys with solid consistency always shine through, as Gebhardt ends up going down, lost the front end. We saw a lot of those guys doing that, where they got kind of bucked out of that inside rut on the uphill of the Carmichael double. And it bites Gebhardt this time. So coming up to 2 minutes and 2 laps to go. Still Seabolt from Klein. Kohenauer still third. Moxie's trying to give chase. Points leader Seidhoff now inside of the top 5, so he's made fantastic progress as Gebhardt continues to try to give chase. Edward Mora also putting in a solid ride. I'm sure the Evergood team is going to be real happy with this one, as well as their guy Sean Klein running in the 2nd spot. Russ Chapman still inside of the top 10. Brock Pearson. Here's your fastest qualifier again, Colton Mitchell. If someone could just buy him a start, I'm sure that he'd be doing a little bit better this year. But so far,
start calling him Marty Davalos.
Yeah, it has been all bad starts. I mean, he got a good start last week, or I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago in Thunder Valley, as he goes down with Pearson.
Bummer. Pearson was doing exactly what he needed to do there, as re-entering the track after a crash, just sitting still, and Mitchell goes right into him.
Yeah, Mitchell got a good start at Thunder Valley last week, and then was unfortunately tangled together with another rider, forget who that was, for 3rd, battling it out, and lost a big chunk of positions. So one of these races, you guys watch, he's going to get a good start, and it's going to be so long and sayonara, because Mitchell is clearly every week the fastest guy on the track, pretty much. Just never seems to get a start.
Kyle Robb is off the track and out of the race after that impressive performance he had going earlier. And our versus PC one to watch continues to be a jinx, as Isaiah Dickerson has rage quit.
Oh, no. No bueno.
And start taking checks from anyone. My PayPal is chris@racefactorygaming.com. Just put in the notes that you would not like to be the versus PC one to watch.
Or maybe put in the notes who you would think should be the versus PC one to watch, so that maybe that person is picked and they end up doing terribly.
Jordan Moxie starting to put the pressure on Kohenauer as they're heading over to the big booter jump in the back of the racetrack.
Yep. Time expires right now, so next time by the 2-lap board will be out for race leader Jeremy Seabolt. Look at these guys getting nice and close.
I'll tell you what, Seidhoff is not far out of a chance at a podium spot. He has pressure from Gebhardt, and they're not far behind this battle of Moxie and Kohenauer. Couple laps to go. Those are a couple guys I wouldn't want behind me the way they've been riding this year.
No, I'm really impressed with Moxie right now. He seems like he is the aggressor in this battle for sure. Look at him scrub it down going down the hill underneath the camera stand.
Try it inside.
Line. Yeah, we haven't seen many people work that inside too much, but it's a good line. It's pretty even.
Kohenauer using the middle and down in that off camera. We've seen most of these 250 guys electing to keep their momentum, ripping around that outside. Seemed to work just as well.
Yeah, cased it just a tad. But no harm, no foul. Continues on, no problem. So 2 laps to go here.
Oh, our leader's just getting back going from what looked like a crash or at least a slide out. Gap's down to 3 seconds now. Sean Klein still has a chance at this with a lap and a half to go.
I wonder here if Klein maybe overrides a little bit, seeing that the gap is down, and he might try to push the pace to go for the win here. He has the time to do it. He could afford a fall-off crash. But I wonder if he might crash because of this. We'll have to see in a lap and a half whether or not that happens, as the battle for third is still on. Look at Moxie around the outside. Pulls alongside on the Taggart Designs tabletop and uses that inside line into the next corner to take over third from Kohenauer. So nice move for the rider out of Great Britain. Let's continue to watch this possible battle for the lead brewing. Siebold trying to hang on. Drops down and perhaps wins right off the bat. That would be a nice way to start in the 250 class here tonight. He's got to get around a couple lappers, it looks like, just looking ahead of him here before he does take the checkered flag as he sends it down the downhill. Man, oh man, that sketches me out. They just get all sorts of swapped. Right? Yeah, white flag coming up. So a couple lappers still in the mix here as he cases the uphill triple. White flag in the air though. Can Klein get to him? Taking a look at the lap times last time by, 2:01 dead for Klein, 2:05.1 for Siebold. So obviously a mistake from Siebold last lap that you touched on. But Klein really wants to win this moto, I'm sure.
He's definitely gaining momentum in this championship as we head east here at High Point.
Yeah, this, like I said, good morale booster. Even if he doesn't win this moto, he should take away some serious positives from this one. I mean, in terms of the championship, like you mentioned, Siebold is a non-factor. Missing the first 3 rounds essentially because he was in the 450 class. So Klein has a couple 8s to start the season, and I believe finished 10th overall at Hangtown. Did better at Glen Helen, did great at Lakewood, now is looking even better, continues to kind of climb that ladder. Maybe get into some championship contention like you mentioned. This race isn't over though, look at Klein pushing.
He is, and there I see some lappers still that they are going to encounter possibly before the finish, especially if they have a slide out or a fall off.
Looks like Siebold may just hang on to this thing. He's managing the gap well. The Klein on that big red 74 is coming. You can see him lurking in the background as we had a rider down. Siebold able to avoid him.
We did have a change for third. Kohenauer moves back into the spot as Moxie had a slide out. Into the second to last turn, through the off camber, up the last uphill. Jeremy Siebold on the number 19, Ever Good Machine over the triple one last time.
Down through the final corner, and Siebold will take the win here. Moto number 1 at High Point in the 250 class just hangs on over Sean Klein, 2.8 seconds in his rears.
Yeah, fastest lap of his race for Sean Klein on the last lap, and he actually matched Siebold's lap time, both of them running 2-minute flats across the board. Yeah, 1 and 2. Looks like Kohenauer, great run here. Consistency and a good start gets him up onto the podium with a 3rd place finish on the MV Films 42, and he looks pumped.
Yeah.
Moxie comes across in the 4 spot. Seidhoff salvages a moto and keeps that red plate going with a 5th.
And that's a big ride right there.
Look at this battle into the last turn.
Gebhardt over Chapman. Oh, and that's Mora running over the back of Chapman.
Can't give up a spot to Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell goes through.
Mora's going to come across in 9th after that. Rounding out your top 10 if you can get back on the track. No, it's going to be Brock Pearson railing around the inside.
But he gets all kinds of sketches. He's still going to get the triple. He goes for it. And just a tiny bit short, but does hang on to it. So he'll pick up 10th. Lewis blew it there in the off camber.
Got Phil Bull coming around the Volcom ride for a 12th.
All alone as well. No contest there, so he'll pick up a 12th. Alex Carlo ahead of Hughes, who has Foster. Foster was up inside of the top 5 at one point. Now finds himself outside of the top 10. Maybe looking like he's going to pick up 15th here. Carlo over the line. Hughes looks like he is going to just hold him off. And he does. So Foster 15th. Holiak on the 125. Valiant effort, still scores points, gets a 16th. But nowhere near the level of talent he was putting forth last year winning this race on a 125.
Jack Zars.
Yeah. And Alfred.
Then Zach Prokop and Ben Seberg were your final two riders to score points unofficially before cuts.
So let's wait on those cuts. All right, takeaways from this moto so far, Chris. What can you gather from this 250 class now that we have gone east, seen one moto here, and going into the second moto? What are we expecting?
Well, it looks like we might see a little more parity. I mean, Seidhoff has been so dang good, and getting a fifth there gives me a little bit of hope. Nice to see Siebel jump right back into the mix on the 250, and I mean, the story really has to be consistency to me. Seeing Konauer up there on the podium, I mean, not far off the pace, but he was definitely off the pace of some of the faster guys. And I mean, you had Kyle Robb running 158s, and he was all the way back to 9th before he pulled off. So looks like consistency is really important to get it done. I mean, I don't know if Klein even had a fall off in that whole moto. He had a slide out that we saw, and cuts are in.
And looks like Seberg gained a spot on Prokop. And that looks to be the only change inside of the top 20. And that was it, yeah. So Siebel takes the win. I think we're going to have a short break here, so I'm not going to go to commercial this time out. We'll just
You're not going to. We're just going to continue to BS, huh?
We're just going to continue to BS, man. That's what we do here on the stream. Come on, man.
What's going on in chat? It's a good time to interact with chat, right?
Yeah, what's going on with chat? How's chat doing? Where's your drinks tonight, Chris? Come on.
Well, I gotta get up and go meet my insurance adjuster at 7:15 tomorrow morning, since I got some wicked hail damage on my truck. So I gotta go sort out that business.
I start work at 6 tomorrow. I'm still going hard in the paint.
Yeah, well, you're also a little younger than me. I'm an old man. And I got my kid's birthday party tomorrow night. We're taking 6 hooligan kids to a water park and staying the night. So I'm going to need all the rest and patience that I can muster.
I'll give it to you. I was a little reluctant to give you the 7:15 for your insurance, but the kids' water park tomorrow night, yeah, that's a little rough. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, better save the alcohol for tomorrow night. Hopefully none of their parents are listening right now.
Oh, man. All right, well, what's up, Eli Block and Colby40 hanging out in chat? Block has got finals tomorrow. I can't believe someone's still in school right now. I mean, we're in mid-June.
Pretty excited. We have some new tracks coming up the next couple of weeks. Not a completely new Muddy Creek, but close to it. And then pretty much a brand new Redbud for round 6. That should be fun.
Yeah, I've seen you did a couple track making live streams on that Redbud track, so that should be exciting. And I mean, you guys had to kind of completely rebuild, as they did in real life, Larocco's Leap. I mean, they moved it in real life over like 40 feet to the left, and there's a whole new layout for that section, so should be exciting for Redbud this year. I'm kind of excited to see how that plays out.
Well, yeah, I've actually had to rebuild it 4 times now. First of all, just moving it, and then tweaking the corner before it twice to get the shape right, and then they decided to put an S-turn before it, so I had to redo it all again. And the goal for this year is that the fast 250 guys, you know, the Seabolts, Sean Kleins, Jared Seidhoffs of the world, that they'll be able to actually jump it during the race. And that's something we haven't really been able to do in the past. They've always had to kind of double it, and I think it ruins the flow. So if we can get some of these top guys to huck over that thing on a 250, that's the goal for this year.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's definitely the thing that is most exciting about Larocco's Leap, is watching those 250 guys go for it, because most of the time the top 450 guys in real life and in sim are able to get over the leap no problem. But I mean, like you said, it's pretty often we see the 250 guys in this game check up and have to double it. So yeah, if you guys make it so that some 250 guys can huck it, we're gonna have some good streaming. I'm gonna enjoy that.
And then also making it so not all of them can do it. Otherwise it's boring still. I mean, it's still cool. Obviously they're hucking over it or whatever, but it doesn't provide that variety of tripling over someone.
Well, I'm sure that one of the problems that you guys run into nowadays with a lot of this stuff is that you probably build it thinking, oh man, this is really tough. I'm sure only these people are going to get it. And then when it comes to actually them playing it, yeah, there's a lot of people that end up doing it, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll have to see here in the 450 class tonight, because that jump down into the valley was the same way. I tried to build it so the top 450 guys could get it consistently every lap, but that you had to hit the corner greased perfectly, and it would be a passing line for guys that can get it done the more often than not. And obviously there's some guys that hopefully won't be able to do it, or at least not do it consistently.
Yeah, so you're speaking about obviously this jump here on the right-hand side of our screen, jumping all the way into the valley from that right roller. Speaking of the 450s, though, for just a moment before we get 250 Moto 2 underway, there is that section after the big quad, and then you drop back down to the valley. There's the step-up double into a U-turn. And we've seen some 250 guys swing wide there and almost kind of double down back into the valley. Have we seen any 450 guys do that in qualifying yet, or is that a line that might be possible, you think?
That's the jump I was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out of the off-camber left-hand turn.
No, before that. The corner before that one.
Oh, are you saying... Oh, I see what you're saying. Double into the drop-off?
Correct.
Not that I'm aware of, but I actually rebuilt that a couple times to try to make that not possible. But again, these guys are ridiculous, so...
Well, I mean, I feel like a couple times at least on the stream so far, I've seen some of these 250 guys get damn close to getting over that, clipping the knuckle, if doing anything. So, even Rob, once he took the lead earlier in the race, he did hit that knuckle, and it caused him to go over the bars as he was trying to double into the valley. So I'm just wondering if maybe those 450 guys with, a little bit extra power, a little extra oomph, can pop over that as well. But
yeah, you have to use the edge of the rut. I noticed is how they were getting the pop that they were getting, and I mean the thing is I'm scared if you double into that you might be able to triple all the way up out of the other side of the valley.
Yeah, especially on those 450s, which once they have momentum going, it's hard to get it to stop going. They have a lot of speed and can carry that. So maybe, I mean, these guys were running top time 152.6 or something this week. I mean, incredible. We only saw 159 flat as a top time in this race. So
158.8. Rob, who rage quit.
Ah, right.
Or I shouldn't say rage quit. He pulled off, I believe.
Bottom of the list.
I don't know if he even raged. Looks like we're going Moto 2 racing.
Well, Heckman in chat did mention that he can do it on a 450, so we'll have to see. All right, who are we going to watch this time? Holiak busted the whole shot last time, but this time I am going to take a look at... I'll take a look at Siebel down the inside as we are set to go racing. Moto number 2 at High Point is underway as the gate is down. Siebel gets a terrible jump. Meanwhile, Carlo has a good one. We got some guys folding in from the outside as they go into the first corner, and it is going to be...
Hughes, and Cohenauer gets taken down.
Oh.
John Klein in the mix, Gebhardt in the mix, but Hughes has the #1 spot. David Wright up in the mix. There's Sean Klein, Gebhardt, and Thomas Sillick, top 5. Carlo, Donovan, St. Laurent, and there's a rider down. I think that was Gebhardt. Yes, it was.
Oof, a lot of big hitters already going backwards as Klein is hung up at the bottom of the hill. He loses a couple spots. David Wright up in here. A couple guys that normally not accustomed to running up at the front have good starts in this moto. Curious to see what this looks like as Hughesy leads the way. From Sillick, David Wright has all sorts of pressure from William St. Laurent, who's normally very, very quick outdoors, but has so far been missing in action.
I see a decent start for Colton Mitchell in 10th right now. And
Ryder's down. Before the triple, Donovan got collected with, I'm trying to figure out who that is, Zoe Cross, his teammate. Oh. So Ryder scattering. Continue with your thought though, Chris.
I was just going to say, we didn't pick a versuspc.com one to watch, so here over there on this first lap at some point, I will select one, let things sort out a little bit, and we'll check out that versuspc.com one to watch.
Right on. How about it? Jonathan Hughes, 134 rider out of Great Britain. He's leading this thing, and he's got a nice lead already. We're not even through the first lap, as Sillick fallen with David Wright into the clutches of Sean Klein, St. Laurent. Holiak on the two-stroke is up here. Andrew Jennings, Colton Mitchell gets landed on by Carlo.
His teammate.
Oh, no. Trouble in paradise. The Versus PC, FAMMX riders go down together. Then Carlo lands on Mitchell who I'm sure at this point is just fuming. Another time where he's got an okay or somewhat decent start, and it gets ruined. So he's going to try to make quick work of Carlo, who puts up no fight, obviously.
Oh, Sidehoff is on the ground before the uphill triple, runs in the 35th position right now.
Look at all these names we're going through as we go back to your points leader. Just getting going behind, actually our one to watch in the first one, Isaiah Dickerson, Ben Toy also back here.
Oh, Holyak and David Wright, we're in 3rd and 4th, and they're on the ground.
What was that you said? Consistency is going to be the key?
Absolutely, and now things are starting to sort out, and out front, why not give the versuspc.com one to watch to Jonathan Hughes, who is out in front, had a good start going in that first moto. Didn't quite end the way that it started, but let's make him our one to watch, and it'll be easy to watch him as of right now. He is in the lead.
He might not be in the lead for very long with Sean Klein running in second.
Thomas Sillick was in 4th, and he's on the ground now.
More and more crashing as, oh, Devin Ryan goes down in the background. We got a big stack
down,
up.
And now a bunch of guys hitting him. Jordan Foster collected in there.
Look at all of these guys. Oh, Zoa Cross, I think that was just clean somebody again. Surely we have to have dualies in here somewhere. Come on. Anybody. No dualies at all? Guys
Kellen's
jumping
thirsty.
over top. I'm serious. I haven't taken a shot since the first moto. Somebody throw some dualies.
I have a feeling you'll be taking a lot during that 450 moto.
That is the truth. Maybe it was Donovan.
Uh-oh. We've got a new leader.
Meanwhile, Edward Mora is backwards in the middle of the track. Sean Klein to the lead. A little early to predict this, but could we see Sean Klein lead the most laps at this race this year and not win a single moto? I mean, he is leading right now, but again, we saw him kind of fall apart late in that first moto.
The good thing he has going for him here is our heavy hitters are pretty backed up, other than I would say Rush Chapman would be a guy that we could expect to potentially run him down, and he runs in the 4 spot. Other than that, I mean, the guys that you normally see at the front, I mean, I'm going through the field, and I'm all the way back to 10th before I find Siebold and Gebhardt.
Yeah, Siebold's behind Holyak. So better start for Holyak this time around. Let's see what he's able to do on that 125 as Gebhardt's showing Siebold a nose there.
Chapman's moved around Jonathan Hughes into the 3 spot, or sorry, around Andrew Jennings. I apologize. Hughes still runs in second. All you Hughesy fans out there.
Holyak's going to work on the 718 of Zars coming down the hill, and Siebold's trying a wide line into the corner, ends up going middle and might split them both. 3 wide on the Tiger Designs tabletop over a downed rider, and Siebold does get Holyak not quite around Zars yet, who's doing a nice job of fighting back. And then shuts the door as Gebhardt puts Holyak on the deck. And Gebhardt goes down the inside of Siebold as well. All right, surely we have dualies coming up here. Pearson.
Maybe Trileys. Oh, Gebhardt gets super sideways.
Neither of them are going to clear that. Oh, that was
gets sideways,
pretty close. I'm not going to call it dualies yet.
Yeah, Siebold didn't really throw it. He just kind of flowed with the track, but Zars threw it.
No dualies. That was, nah.
I did get the report mid-moto from our pit reporter Eli Block that Jack Zars was feeling feisty for moto number 2, so let's see what he's got. He's
we also
up in
saw
7th with some serious pressure from Siebold.
I think it was Russ Chapman that came in here and said, please watch. I think he said Edward Mora, yeah, that Mora said he was going to punt him in the second moto. Feelings always hurt.
Rob just made the jump into the valley and went right around Edward Mora. I was actually going through the pack to find him, and I saw Kyle Rob come out of nowhere and just launch into the valley.
Did he actually get all the way over it?
Yeah, it looked like he had gotten all the way to the back side of it.
Wow.
Because he was grabbing gears through the valley past Mora.
So either he has some boost in that Prime Designs machine, or he did get it, like you said. Man,
yeah,
it's
maybe
just...
he borrowed the NOS bottle off of Mullins' bike for the week.
It's just incredible.
On Zoa Cross right now to get into the top 10.
The corner speed of these guys, they can almost come into these corners wide open and just lay it over and just go for it as Rob Comes around the outside across and makes a pass. Blows that rut again, but like you said, might be trying to do that. He didn't do it as cleanly this time, though. And Cross gets the position back.
Nice 3-rider battle right in front of these guys as they're going to go around St. Laurent, who's down in that inside rut. Gebhardt working on Siebold, and Jack Zarsch right in that mix as well.
St. Laurent actually got up.
Gebhardt down.
Gebhardt. And he's going to get passed by just a gaggle of riders.
Now Mora Rob putting the pressure on Zoa Cross right now. They're going to maybe do some trialies. Zoa threw it gnarly in moto number 1.
Oh, but nobody behind him really did anything. Oh, Cross was ridiculous. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
three-way contact.
Somehow Mora saves it.
Was that Rob or Mora initiating contact? I couldn't
Rob
quite
went
tell.
Way across the track, clipped Mora, and then just launched himself right into the back of Zoa Cross.
Jeez.
But Zoa is not pumped right now.
So major
now
contact.
Zoa's down again, trying to get back going into that drop off. So wheels have come off the 91 machine. Expect a rage quit to come soon or rather than later.
Looking back and finding Moxie with Gebhardt and your fastest qualifier Colton Mitchell trying to come forward still. They send it, almost land on Moxie, who just got out of there before they came down.
Follow the leader around the outside line. Someone might want to tell him there's a couple other ruts in that corner.
Gebhardt has a great drive up the hill. Might get to the inside here. Almost thought about it, but checked up.
Mitchell just lurking behind these guys, looking for an opening as they're reeling in William St. Laurent.
We're not even 10 minutes into this moto. I feel like so much stuff has happened already. More follow the leader. Gebhardt following right behind Moxie. Not taking too many different lines. Moxie blows the rut, but again, might get a better run through here. Gets the double and continues doubling down the hill. Might go after St. Laurent here.
Mitchell working on Gebhardt after Gebhardt had to back out of the double to not get into him.
There it is.
4-rider battle now.
Moxie around St. Laurent. Just got him down the downhill. Great battle. Look at, oh my gosh, how did Gebhardt make that corner and then not make contact with St. Laurent, who came back across the track, and they're just crisscrossing each other.
All right, maybe we get dualies here. We got
we got 4 riders in line. Somebody, please.
Oh, there's a rider
down.
That was Zarsch. Gebhardt runs the low line to get around him.
Nobody really throws it, but yeah, Gebhardt stayed super low. Oh my goodness.
And he ran the wall, which it looked like was down the down rider, but I'm not pumped on the fact he passed St. Laurent doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those spots where you pull over, let the guy back by, just check the brakes for a second. Either that or he's hoping, oh, I hope they didn't catch that.
St. Laurent's about to lose the spot here to Mitchell, who's sneaking down the inside of him and has a better line as well. Will get the pass done. So St. Laurent's got to be wondering, what the heck? I had just gotten him back, and now I'm losing 2 spots. Meanwhile, Gebhardt is set to go after Moxie now as he pulls almost alongside heading down the hill. Gets another great run. Tries to stay low. Contact. Yep, that was going to end in tears. Saw that coming, and will these guys avoid them? Just, whoa. Zarsch almost got into him. And Gebhardt gets up sideways, and I believe just put Moxie on the ground, or is trying to. They're playing a little game with each other as now Moxie actually gets Gebhardt.
You asked why Gebhardt was still a privateer.
Yeah, that was a little bit wishful thinking to try to make that move around the outside at the bottom of the hill when they were both in the same rut. We'll see, though, as Gebhardt is once again behind Moxie, how aggressive he chooses to attack this situation. And knowing Gebhardt, I would assume quite a bit.
I'm guessing one or both of them will end up on the ground, and as he was looking inside, he launches himself into the tough blocks. He has enough freaking salt to last McDonald's for a year, and I don't know about you, but their salt fries are pretty salty.
Oh, man.
Out front, though, Sean Klein, 11-second lead, laying down some 2-minute lap times.
Yeah, over Rush Chapman now. We've been watching all this battle going on for about 10th place this whole time. Meanwhile, there's actually been probably a lot of passing going on as Chapman has worked his way from about 6th into 2nd. Hughesy's still here in third. Pearson is trying to run him down from fourth. Andrew Jennings is inside of the top 5. He was not even in the points, if I remember correctly, in the last moto.
Yeah, well, there's the consistency telling the story. Granted, we're early in the moto, and he's got some serious pressure from Siebold. His fast lap's only a 2:06, which, don't get me wrong, that's a good one for most humans, and he goes down.
He is down hard.
I was about to compliment his consistency.
He has a freight train of riders on his rear fender now as Zars and St. Laurent are coming, but they have a couple riders behind them as well. Oh, this might be a landed on situation. Ooh.
Zars going aggressive down the inside of the hill. Is he going to duck into this middle rut? He does.
Well, and he hooks it, and he gets it too.
Nicely.
Jennings gets all sorts out of shape. Might get passed by St. Laurent on the triple as they go side by side. Able to both. Oh, right through in the middle. He bounces off of both of them, and then Jennings gets up completely sideways, crosses the rut, almost goes off the track. Zoa Cross has made the pass. No kidding. Oh, Moxie ends up on the deck as Jennings is going all over the place, and Mora's just trying to get through, like, please let me get by, and he does.
All this going on. Where is our number 1? There he is. He's back in 23rd. Not even in the points yet as we're approaching the halfway point of the moto.
So that could be a big shakeup. We were talking a little bit about Klein in his consistent finishes so far this year. Obviously, Seidhoff has had consistent good finishes, but if he has a moto like this one that he's having right now and Klein ends up winning this one, that's a big point swing.
Well, Sean Klein having a great day here at High Point, and he's continuing to stretch out his lead out front. Looks comfy. Haven't really talked about him that much in this moto because there's been some great action in the middle of the pack. But Klein just putting down the laps here.
Trying to find ourselves a little bit of a battle up front. Pearson was able to get around Hughes. Chapman all alone in second.
Closest guys I found thus far, 11th and 12th, Kohenauer and Phil Bowl. Well, Kohenauer looking to back up his strong moto number 1 after being down on the start of this one. Having to do it a lot the harder way. Instead of doing it from the front, he's trying to do it from the back and doing it well.
That definitely shows the true speed of him, though. As we saw in the first moto, he gets a third, and you kind of think, well, maybe it's a bit of a fluke, gets a good start, just runs solid laps. But this one, like you said, down in the first corner, and he's already almost into the top 10 again. So he's definitely feeling it here tonight at High Point. Good to see for the KG veteran on the MV Films machine. Right,
Seidhoff's up to 19th, by the way. Make that 18th as he goes by Alex Carler, who just got up from a crash.
Just ahead of those guys for just a second, though. Kohenauer is going to catch Mora and Cross very quickly if they continue to battle, but St. Laurent also went down. So it's spreading out a little bit. Not too much going on at the front, obviously, but would you like to give us perhaps a top 10 rundown?
Oh, is it that time?
I think it's that time. I think we're about halfway through this moto.
Top 10 rundown is brought to you by Racetech Suspension and Engines. Did you know that Racetech Gold Valves are the choice for the JS4, the number 309 himself, for the first time riding them outdoors this year? I'm pretty pumped, finally, to make that happen. Through his local dealer up there. Jeremy Smith will be aboard some Racetech product, and I think that'll help catapult him up inside the top 15. We'll see what he can do. But Sean Klein is showing us what he can do with the lead, running 2:01 fast lap and looking great on this High Point track. Obviously gelling with it. Can the rookie grab a win? He's halfway through the moto. Cross flags are out. Rush Chapman in the number 2 rides, trying to close in the gap, 10 seconds behind. Then comes Brock Pearson with a great performance. He's been strong all season long up inside the top 10s, looking for a podium here on the MV Films, number 194. Jonathan Hughes has some serious pressure. R versus PC, one to watch. Jonathan Hughes on the number 134, trying to keep Jeremy Seabolt behind him. Make that Jeremiah Seabolt riding for Team Evergood on the number 19. Back in the number 6 spot, we have Colton Mitchell, Prime Design Graphics, number 10, the hot lap hero himself. Then we find versus PC, Famimax number 718, another rookie. This one's Jack Zars, and his teammate Zoa Cross was right behind him, but he slides out, and that's Edward Moore on the Evergood. Number something, make that a 48, sorry. In the 8th spot, Cross gets back going. Great ride for him in 9th. He has 1 top 10 thus far on the season. Looking for another one here. And rounding out the top 10, if you can wipe off all the salt from his number plates, you'll find Salty Walty Gebhardt on the number 73. That's been a top 10 rundown brought to you by Racetech.com. Log on and make your bike faster and handle better. All right, meow!
I particularly like that last one about Salty Walty. Might have to wipe a little bit of the salt off of the plates, because there's no mud or dirt gathering up on those plates. It is nothing but pure salt.
Hey, the nice thing is if you want to do shots of tequila after the race, you just swipe your front number plate for your salt, and we get a little rimmer going on, and you're good to go.
Oh, man. If only.
Oh, Salty Walty. I don't know if you just saw that. Somehow Cross didn't go down there.
Yeah, what the heck?
No idea.
Could I have those hacks, please? That'd be great.
I think it's all the salt buildup. He has, like, training wheels on there.
Yeah, he just kind of Cross stuck to him and just went along his merry way, no problem.
Oh, Ben Seberg just got
done. Oh, I missed it.
That's what we should do next lap around, is just watch like the top 15 go over the big booter and see who throws it dirtiest.
Top 15? You kidding me? We should watch just the whole freaking field go over the booter.
All right, well, we got started off with our leader, Sean Klein. His lead is down to 9 seconds. It's actually 8.5. He did run a 2-minute lap time, but Chapman, has dropped into the 159s a couple of times, so he's chipping away. Gonna have to do more than chip away, though. He needs a mistake from Klein to close it up a little better than that.
I'm gonna do a stationary cam, I think, on the triple. If it doesn't work out for the first few, then I'll switch.
I'd like to see these guys get dirty.
Yeah, it's 20 minutes. We're 2/3 of the way to Dirty 30. I think it's time to go here. Let's see what Klein does. Boner Air Central, but you know, it happens. Let's stick on this jump now. Chapman,
nothing.
Little kick, nothing too big.
I mean, that would have been big in the 1970s, but we're not in the 1970s anymore.
Oh, this jump is big in the 1970s. You got a lapped rider in there doing something big.
Oh, Brock Pearson throws a little bit of an oppo, nothing crazy. Let's see what our versus PC.com one to watch Jonathan Hughes has as he comes around in the number 4 spot. Nothing really.
Yeah, not really.
Siebel?
No, they're just kind of doing like a floating double whip off of it.
Colton Mitchell? Oh man, these guys are letting me down. You build them a big booter lip, they're supposed to get sideways. It's still supposed to have fun.
There it is.
Here comes. All right, here's Edward Moore, our 7th place rider. How about Jack Zars? He's been getting dirty off of it. And a little bit of a turn up, not much. Salty Walty scrubbed it pretty hard. There's Zoe Cross with a little turn up, but he didn't have to run.
Damn!
Seberg, Ben Seberg, Kellen Hour.
Love that. Seberg's killing it.
Here comes Phil Bull, running in the 14 spot. William St. Laurent.
Someone just hit the pole, I think, or something. Is that
Carlo? Just doubled it. So
yeah.
I don't know if he had hit the pole. There's Andrew Jennings. Here comes Jordan Foster. I think he's getting a run at it. He must know that we're watching. He's going to get dirty
here we
for
go.
us.
Let's see it.
Nope, maybe not.
How about our points leader?
Side off.
He's a little bit more sideways than most, but it's still not much of anything.
Come on, Dale Mullins. Show something. Show something big. This is what we're doing for our top 10 rundown next moto, though, for sure. All right, Devin Ryan and Reno Brennan coming up. Oh, Reno Brennan.
Oh, damn. I love it.
There's Donovan. Here comes Dakota French, and then we'll see our leader, Sean Klein, coming around lapping these guys as he gets around Caden Speck.
That's pretty much my lap through the field segment in a nutshell right there, though, taking a look at everybody come through and then your leader back through. Meanwhile, how about this battle for the lead going on? Russ Chapman is right there now, and he's going to send it into the valley, almost pulls alongside. Might be pulling alongside. Klein's going to shut the door, though. Oh, Chapman got there, and he shuts the door on him and puts him down. Klein went over the rut all by himself, but Chapman to the race lead. Where did that come from?
Did a bike humper. Well, it came from us watching the triple.
I guess.
It was a 2-minute .7 last time around for Klein and a 2-minute .5 for Chapman. So definitely had to have been a mistake from Sean Klein on this lap. Now Klein is still in position to win this overall, but a 2-2 win the overall is not what he would want. I think he wants a 2-1. So let's see if Sean Klein can get after it.
Yeah, he's got a decent amount of time over Pearson, who just went down, so he's going to have a bigger gap. Pearson should still get up in the 3 spot over Hughes.
Walty has sort of left the building. There's talk of DDoS in chat, but not really sure there.
Oh man, that was almost a terrible tracker entry by Hughes as he gets passed by Siebold. It was very, very close to ending in just nothing but tears. Trying to find ourselves a little bit of a battle somewhere inside of this top 10, but...
Oh, our 3rd place rider, Brock Pearson, is down. That's going to open the door for Jeremy Siebold.
How did he end up over there?
Hey, guess what? The bad news is if you're Sean Klein, a 2-2 does not beat a 1-3. Ruh-roh.
Oh, yeah, because now Siebold is up there.
He's got that bonus point for winning Moto #1.
Wonder if Klein knows. Wonder if anybody's telling him. You'd got to believe so, but who knows?
Chapman dealing with some lappers. Going to go on around. I think that was Reno Brennan.
Just took a glance at TeamSpeak right now, and I see Walter Gebhardt and Jared Seidhoff in the same chat. And knowing Walter's usual rhetoric when he speaks about races, I'm sure Jared is not having too good of a time racing right now, given the amount of raging that might be happening.
Yeah, Jared's only up to that 16 spot at the moment. Walter's been hanging out a lot with the Prime guys, and I mean, I think that would probably be part of the reason he's been riding so well this outdoor season, is there's a lot of fast guys on that team probably rubbing off on him.
And I actually just saw that they moved Walter out of the chat that Jared's in. Oh, mid-race funsies.
Are we ever going to see Colton Mitchell back up his speed in the motos, like in 2 motos, and just dominate a 1-1 performance?
I really don't know, because I don't understand how you can lay down such a lap time that he was able to be fastest qualifier, but then he's really not even been that close to it lap time wise. Like, he's not been able to just bust out one burner, and even in the first moto he wasn't the fastest rider on the track. So
alright. I mean, he's got a 159.8 here, which is plenty fast, but I mean, it's tough to do when you can't get a rhythm going if you're in the middle of the pack or the back of the pack. And we saw here, I mean, he had those issues early in the race when he had a good start. Teammate lands on him, you know.
yeah, I'm sure that's not going to sit too well with those guys. Watching Kohenauer, who was in a battle with Moxie, but Moxie just got stood up, and so Cross goes through. Phil Bowl also right in there.
Battle for 7th is getting good. Zars under some heavy pressure from Ben Seberg. We got to watch Seberg anyways. He was probably one of the nastiest, if not the nastiest, on that triple.
Yeah. These guys might be perfect candidates for some dualies before this 250 action is over tonight. They're close together. Zars is a rookie and probably doesn't think about consistency that much. And Ben Seberg has been throwing him all night.
Yeah, without a mistake before it, I think Seberg's going to throw it every lap. I like that. I don't know where Ben Seberg's from, do you?
I'm 80% sure it's Great Britain as well. A lot of these guys are British that race this series right now.
It's a pretty small country to hold balls that big.
Oh, whew, thought he was going to get kicked over the bars right there. All right, here we go. They're close together. Zars coming down. Will we have dualies? Oh, Zars did get kind of sideways.
Seberg was almost backwards.
That's ridiculous. And if anything,
he
gains
time.
Yeah, he gains time doing it.
Oh, he's going around the outside, around the outside, around the outside. Doubles into the valley.
Oh.
He's got the run and the move.
There's no way. I mean, like, we saw Heckman saying that these 450 guys, including himself, might get over that. I mean, Seaberg is knuckling it every lap. Oh, he's too far into the valley.
Did more than knuckled that valley.
Yeah.
He took a face full of handlebars. He's going to surrender a spot to Zoa Cross, who jumps up into 9th now.
Phil Bull almost clipped him going up the hill. Yeah, he lost 4 spots in that process.
Mora goes by as well, so costly mistake late in the moto for Ben Seaberg.
This battle's still raging on, though. Phil Bull mixed in with Zoa Cross, who's all over the place, saves it, but loses 3 spots.
I swear every time we show Zoa Cross on the stream, he goes flopping. Been riding with Eli Black too much, getting a little lawn dart action going on.
This 3-rider battle continues to rage on. We're approaching 28 minutes into the moto. Not too much going on up front, so this battle's a good one to watch. Phil Bull, Edward Mora, and Ben Seaberg now behind them.
Yeah, right now at the front of the field here in 250 Moto 2, Sean Klein needs a little bit of help from Russ Chapman if he wants to win this overall. The gap's down to 5 seconds, but he's pushing it.
All right, 3 guys in a row, late in the moto. Ben Seaberg is one of them. I mean, surely, right? Oh, did you see Mora? He just like scrubbed that inside roller.
Going inside here on Bull.
Ooh, close.
Great control on that double from these guys. We haven't really seen too many crazy collisions there where the lines do fade together.
Yeah, look at that crossover move by Bull, too. It almost worked. And Seaberg not with them anymore, but they still have a good shot to bowl some dualies if they can. And they're not really going to, although Phil Bull was nasty right there. Cross and Moxie. I want to see Seaberg one more time. I mean, we just can't get enough of him right now. He's getting just naughty on this jump. Woo!
The thing is, he's taking off the lip, facing completely left, and throws it as hard as he possibly can.
Love it.
It still ends up almost backwards.
Love it, love it, love it. Oh, Hughesy's down in the off-camber.
Oh, our versus PC one to watch. Still a nice top 10 performance going for Jonathan Hughes up in the number 6 spot.
He's kind of all alone now. He didn't lose a spot there, obviously, because those guys are too far in front of him. But Mitchell is trying to run with Pearson. They're both a little ways back of Seabolt.
Oh, man. I think we're looking for dualies on the wrong jump. I just saw Phil Bull and Zoa Cross both on that little triple step down into the valley, getting super sideways as well. But maybe if you want to have a drink, that's what you got to do.
Well, like you said, I'm sure I'm going to get just completely wasted in this 450 moto. If these guys are able to get more power to the ground and hit these jumps a little bit faster.
Man, Chapman cannot stretch the gap on Sean Klein. But Klein not, I mean, he's able to chip away about half a second of it. And we are going to get the 2-lap board right about now as Chapman goes into the last turn.
Man,
2 card is out.
4.8 seconds is the gap. Let's take a look at the lap times real quick.
2-minute flat, fastest lap of his moto, Sean Klein. He's trying, but 2-minute 0.6 for Chapman. He only was able to take 0.4 off the lead. Chapman, a little mistake, a little slide out leaving turn number 1.
Yeah, he needs a little bit more than that mistake, though, I think, for Klein to get into this. But, I mean, it could happen. Chapman...
Wow, the lead is shrinking, though. I saw it drop to 4.2 for a second, and that might be enough to push Chapman to the mistake.
Exactly. Put a little bit of pressure on him, thinking that the moto's winding down and he's got someone hot on his heels.
And I'm sure Klein has someone telling him he has 27 seconds back to Seabolt behind him. He has nothing to lose right now.
Yeah.
So he can let it all hang out. Now that could cause him to fall down, push him too hard, or it could allow him to just loosen up and lay down the laps.
This is essentially the battle for the overall right now, as Seabolt probably isn't going to get past again. Mitchell puts Pearson on the ground, as I say that. But I don't think Mitchell's going to get to Seabolt unless he puts down a couple 153s.
There's a 3-rider battle going on right outside the top 10 as Zars actually runs Moxie off the track. Edward Mora in the mix. They're right behind Zoa Cross and Jeremy Cohenauer. So 8th all the way back to like 12th or 13th in the battle.
Oh, Zars just cased a
Riesenberg
poop
in there
out of that triple. Yeah, look at there's 4 guys almost in the air off the finish line right now.
You know who might be the benefactor of that with 2 laps to go is Jared Seidhoff, who runs in 14th, and he's 4 seconds behind the tail of that whole big group of guys.
Yeah.
That goes all the way up to 8th place.
He's going to get some spots. These guys are not going to make it through these last 2 laps without crashing into each other at some point.
Don't know where in this battle to watch as Edward Mora crashes, so there's one rider down.
And
now everyone's
another
got to
rider
try
down.
to avoid him.
The rider in the background couldn't see who that was. Seaberg's going for the pass on Moxie as Zars is holding up the inside. And 3 different lines work out. Seaberg almost gets by Moxie. Saw a rider down in the background. It is Seidhoff with Mora, and that is David Wright squeaking through. Mora gets up in front of Seidhoff, and then
Seidhoff. Wow.
Wow, almost put him on the ground. All right, come on, dualies somewhere. Zars and Moxie, maybe. Oh, nope, Zars is going down.
Zars is down.
And Seaberg's down too. Let's just go back up front.
Seaberg. Yeah, okay.
Change for the lead.
And the overall, Sean Klein to the lead. We shouldn't have probably hung out back there that long knowing it was closing in. A 159.8 for Sean Klein and a 209.4. That tells the story right there.
Oh, man.
1 lap to go. Sean Klein can go 2-1, win his first pro overall with a great day here at High Point, but he's only got a 3-second gap, and you know Chapman has nothing to lose, and he knows how to lay the heaters down.
Heck no. I want to go on board with the 13 machine here on this last lap because he's going to just throw caution to the wind here for sure. Surprised that, given that he did it earlier in the moto, he didn't try to low line there. Maybe he knows he's on the stream
it's
now.
Down to 2 seconds. He is not going to lift.
Look at
Double
that.
in.
Almost gets it.
So close.
Knuckles it
He's
a little
giving
bit.
it everything he has. I bet he goes wide here. Tries to jump into that valley. Nope. Looks like a pretty clear track. There is a group of lappers, but I don't think they'll get to him unless there's a fall off. 1.5 seconds. Chapman's nothing to lose. Klein everything to lose right now.
I don't think he's going to get to him. Klein is just able to hold on here at the end, I think. Up the hill one more time. Is Klein going to win his first ever moto and overall here? 1 corner to go. The 74 of Sean Klein wins High Point, and he is stoked. He goes 2-1 to win the overall, and Chapman falls just short at the end. A 58 flat. He's pissed. Disconnects immediately. Oh, man.
A mile or back. He's going to come around and get 2nd overall on the day with 1-3 moto scores on the ever good number 19. Welcome back into the 250 class for Jeremiah Siebold.
I'm sure as good of a night as that is for Siebold, he's probably not too pumped with that either.
Oh, man. Terrible moto. I just went back. Seidhoff is in 15th. Looks like he just slid out again. Not his moto. Edward Mora is on the ground. That's about the only guy that he has a potential to even catch before the end of this without a crazy crash. So it's going to really shake up his points lead a little bit.
Watching a couple battles to the line are versus PC. One to watch. Jonathan Hughes is just barely not going to get to Pearson before the end. So Pearson picks up a top 5. Cohenauer is trying to hold off Phil Bull going into the off camber. And I think Cohenauer is just going to hang on here. Gets the triple clean inside line and picks up 7th. Bull across the line in 8th. Moxie will take home 9th. And the final top 10 position is going to go to versus PC FemX ride of Zoa Cross. Zars, his teammate, picks up an 11th. Good ride for Zars, who's been really off so far outdoors this year. Foster comes across in 12th. Seaberg been throwing dirty all moto long, and he's going to pick up 13th for his efforts. Mora will beat Seidhoff home in 14th. So your points leader, 15th in Moto 2. That's going to shake up the points big time, and he is also pissed. Disconnects before it even lands. St. Laurent over the line 16th, Carlos 17th, Devin Ryan 18th, Dale Mullins 19th, and Chase Donovan 20th, at least for now. We'll see if cuts change any of that before we jump away for a quick break before 450s come up here in a moment. We'll wait for cuts, and cuts are in. No changes. Your overall winner here at High Point, the 74, the rookie, Sean Klein for Evergood. Very awesome performance for him tonight. So thanks for watching the 250 class. If you guys are sticking around for the 450 class, do not touch that URL bar. Actually, touch your refresh bar here in just a minute, because we're going to go on a quick break and come back on the other side of this one. 450 Consi Racing and 450 Motos. So don't touch that URL bar. Touch the refresh bar. But thanks for watching the 250 Motos here from High Point, and we'll see you guys in just a bit.